Quite often you'd hear about previous New Zealand sides that had gone to England, the 49 side, and some of New Zealand's greats that had gone on those tours. And quite often in those early days, they were 4 or 5 month tours. By the time they jumped on a boat, sailed across and came home, they were long tours. Heading into that series, we looked at what previous New Zealand sides had done in England, and to be fair, we hadn't had a lot of success over quite a long period of time. Obviously 86, led by Sir Richard, who was outstanding with ball, was the first time New Zealand had won a series away in England against England, so that was probably the marker.
Richard Hadley has got 3 wickets.
A lot of groundwork before we went away on tour. We had Gilbert Anoka with us in terms of the management. It was led by Steve Rickson, who was the coach, but Gilbert played a pivotal part of the tour because he themed the tour as BTB, better than before, and that's what we were trying to do as a team. BTB, for some reason, I don't know what it was, but it resonated with everyone. We wanted to be better than before, so it basically held everyone accountable to something that we'd all agreed on and signed into, so it was really important.
Back in '99, England were under a wee bit of pressure from their general public, but also media particularly. They'd had a few changes, a bit of a change in captaincy. So from our perspective, you know, it was a good opportunity. It's a time really to strike if we could. The way that the test match sort of unravelled was ridiculous, really. First day crazy, I think 21 wickets, and then of course to end in the loss when we had such a great chance to win that was hard. You know, we went from probably a real excited, ambitious feeling to a reality check very quickly.
We had an advantage of 100 and threw it away with probably what could be described as reckless cricket.
Unfortunately, myself and Marty Croy weren't playing, but he sort of said to me, we're good mates, he says, should we go and have a look out in the middle? Yeah, okay. So we out and down through the members area, and again, the place is oozing history, and we're walking out onto the field, and about halfway over, Marty leans right over to me. He says, God, he says, I feel nervous, I'm not even playing. And that is the aura that the ground has.
I remember coming off the bus the first time, you know, walking up the stairs, and then the first time down through, you know, the members' lounge, out to the ground, onto the turf. I remember looking at the wicket and seeing how much more sloped I thought it was than what I'd expected. I remember at that stage the empty stadium, but imagining that it was full, and then to think that I had a chance of representing my country on Lords, you know, was pretty amazing.
We hadn't won there before. That had been part of our theme as well, wanting to create our own bit of history and be the first New Zealand side to win a test match at Lords.
Oh, he's edged it, inside edged it. Kansas struck.
That's an excellent catch from Stephen Fleming. It's been misery for Nash against Stewart until now.
Just a few things happening out there now.
Truly inspirational bowling session from both those two. They really led the way for us and quietened the crowd. It got us into the game. All of a sudden we knew that we had a chance.
LBW, the in-swinging Yorker.
Oh, yeah. What a cracking bit of bowling.
Matt Horn liked his statistics, and I know that was a huge ambition for him to get up on that board. And at one stage, I think he had one arm on the bat. You know, he'd been hitting the arm so many times, but the guts that he showed.
Now that will have hurt.
The dressing room was, you know, very emotional when he got that opportunity.
And there it is. He tucks it fine, and he'll stay at the non-striker's end and acknowledge the applause of his teammates on the balcony. Matthew Horn has earned himself a special moment at the home of cricket.
And I think, you know, obviously a game-changing innings. We had to have a rock at the one end, and he provided that.
Everyone was pretty stoked because we knew that obviously we'd done the hard yards and now it was just putting the icing on the cake really, going out and winning in style.
The balcony was packed, I think, from minute one right through to when that winning run was hit.
When we needed 4 to win, Richie Benaud said it like this. He said, this is a monumental moment in New Zealand cricket history. 4 to win, the first time ever at the Lords, the home of cricket. And he stopped and he put down his microphone. And the producer in the back of the box said, Richie, what are you doing? You got to call us. He said, no, I don't. He said, it's his moment. Pointing at me, he calls it. He felt like that moment warranted a New Zealand voice, not an Australian voice.
He tucks it away through the onside. It'll run down the hill here at Lords for 4. And New Zealand have won the second test match. The first time they've ever been successful here at Lords. A truly historic moment in their cricketing history. And for a fine young bunch of men who have done the job well.
That really gave us the momentum we needed for the rest of the series.
There were players in that team that had vastly greater careers than what I did, but to know that it still was one of their best and biggest moments, you know, you feel like you've been lucky, been fortunate to be there at that time, to have probably one of New Zealand cricket's real great moments, you know, and as a probably no greater than a club cricketer that got a real special opportunity to have that is just, you know, ridiculous and something I'll always cherish.
A win for New Zealand by 9 wickets. The series level, England winning at Edgbaston and now New Zealand here at Lords, and still 2 tests to play.
To me, that really emphasised to everybody, without anyone having said it, we can do this. The euphoria across the whole group that we had actually done it was unbelievable.
If it had been a win, that's one thing, but we knew that we were the first team, and there had been many teams and great teams, probably talent-wise better teams than what we were, but they'd never had that chance to say that they'd won at Lords.
Our duties went down. I think they were led by Shane O'Connor, who always did a pretty good haka. I'm not sure haka's ever been done before or after at Lords, but it was a pretty special moment as a group.
You had a former All Black captain in DJ Graham that didn't stand for anything that was disrespectful. I remember the passion that was in that haka, and so for us to feel that and see that was really emotional.
I grew up in Hawke's Bay and a significant Māori community there, and whenever I did do the haka, I always felt I owed it to them to make it special. And in fact, because I'm a tall, skinny white guy, I always thought, well, what's my best form of defence here? It's attack, and they all used to say the same thing, just go and give it everything. And so to get out and I'll say lead my teammates in that, which is a very New Zealand thing to do, but for us to be doing it on the hallowed turf, but to our mates who had just won and ticked off one of our main big goals was great fun, yeah. There might have been a little bit of rugby on the hallowed turf just before we did it.
I had no doubt that if the weather hadn't intervened, we probably would have won that test match. So again, our confidence was high. We went away and we played a tour match, and it's probably where maybe we let the standard slip a little bit. We got well beaten by over an innings and plenty of runs against, you know, a county side which just wasn't good enough. So heading into that 4th test, I remember on the bus ride back from Chelmsford, after getting off the bus, we arrived at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And the senior guys in the New Zealand side called a meeting and said, we'll have a meeting, no management, no coaches, just us as a group, where from my memory, the likes of Dion Nash and Chris Cairns really led that meeting and basically said, we've let our standards slip, we've got a prime opportunity here to do something really special, to be the second New Zealand side to win the series. against England in England. Let's not let it slip away by letting our standard slip. So it was a pretty brutal and honest meeting, and there were some home truths told, which sometimes in teams can go one of two ways. But we all took it on board and we all agreed with what was being said, and then I guess it was up to us to action it, and we did that in that final test match.
A sodden oval cricket ground saw the Kiwis abandon outdoor practice and return to the venue of their famous second test victory for an indoor net session.
I think the whole group knew the significance of the opportunity. That was the great thing. Personally, I felt that you could sense in the changing room that we're up for it.
Good news here on the final afternoon before the first day's play, the sun's out. That's allowed the covers to be removed and enabled the ground staff to get to work.
Everyone throughout the series, I think, had a moment, and that really culminated in that last test match where people knew that they could have a moment and win us the game.
Catch it! Yeah!
Oh, well caught.
Flem's leadership as well during that series. He was thrown into fairly young age into this captaincy role, and I felt that he really stepped up in that series. He played a magnificent part in, bowling changes, leadership on the field. He was able to make that bowling change. He took those risks, and I think it paid off greatly for us.
Gone. That's what they needed. Good catch in the gully.
The sense of belief definitely dwindled when we were 30 odd for 6. In lots of ways, our hearts were breaking, thinking it's going to be amazing if we can come back from this.
Oh, my word, that is sensational. Gone. And it's worked. It's a good catch. Low down. He waited for it, Graham thought. And that is a big blow. A big blow. Oh, that's not good judgment. That procession continues.
I vividly remember Cairns getting up out of his seat when he was next in at 8. He walked out, and I won't use the exact words, but it's about time I got some runs. And he just strode out to the wicket, and everyone just sort of sat up in their seats and went, oh, here we go.
That's 4 more. Didn't quite get it, I don't think, but it still went many a mile.
It was an ugly test match, and it was one of those ones where there were some key moments and you needed someone in your side to stand up and grab that moment.
That's better.
Oh, that's a big one. That's up here.
Felt like they had momentum and we were going to have to do something to wrestle that the next morning.
Playing alongside a guy like Dion Nash, he's never going to give up.
Dion Nash is feisty at the best of times, fiery, but he's a guy that you love to have on your side.
He's given it.
He picked up an early wicket as well, and he just got the bit between his teeth.
Perore's got him. First ball. Nash is on a hat-trick. A beautiful swinging delivery.
He bowled a long spell because he knew the significance. We'd been away for 4 months. We'd played a lot of cricket. We'd had a World Cup. We're in the final day of 4th Test match, and it was all coming down to what we were going to do basically in the next 2 to 3 hours.
Got him.
All of a sudden, England folded, and before you knew it, they ended up well short, and we created a bit of history.
He's got him. Irani's walked. Vittori has struck. First ball for him after lunch. And that's got to be it for England.
And I would think that that was going to be the last ball in the series. Roger Toos taken it.
Took the catch, and then all of a sudden, there's about 8 of us just jumping on top of one another. And it was just that jubilation of a long tour that had its tough moments, but we'd gutsed it out, we'd found a way to win, and we'd created something pretty special.
They have won the series and they have played excellent cricket.
You remember each of those individuals and how much it meant to all of us, but also then reflecting on DJ Graham's face and the emotion, you know, for a tough ex-former All Black captain to see what it meant to him and to Steve Rickson and our other management staff. You know, that is equally important.
I think if you talk to a lot of the players that part of that series, they'll say that was the highlight of their career. And you always look back over your career, probably 2 or 3 key moments that you're so thankful that you were a part of.
To have shared the Lord's experience, but then to know again the significance of the series win, only the second time in New Zealand cricket history, was again just a moment that we soaked up. I think every individual understood and respected how important it was and how lucky we were to have that opportunity.
It's been a series of team unity and performances from every member, so it was a great all-round performance.
I was just, I don't know, just pretty determined to get a few wickets and give it everything.
The change room scenes were like nothing I've ever experienced. You know, to actually be a part of it. One, with the national side, and you know, you had to pinch yourself, am I actually here? But also the fact that we had this long campaign, but it had been on highs and lows, and then for it to actually come to fruition, and we did it, projected New Zealand cricket into such a different light, I think, for New Zealanders. That felt as good as anything, as much as the success, really.